Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ankush. So in this lecture, we'll be discussing about RAC installation architecture. So basically, when you want to do a practice on your personal laptop, or maybe you are thinking to install it on your production environment, so you should have something planned in your mind that okay, so how we can do with this installation and what are all things we are required for that, right? So I'll just go through some of the fundamentals architecture of RAC, like what are all softwares we need and everything. We are going to see it over here. Before I start, my request to you is please do like, subscribe and share this channel. Again, I started my new Oracle DBA batch. If you are interested to join this real-time database training, you can reach out to me. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm thinking about the two-node RAC. Whenever I say two-node, so obviously you should have two servers to be ready. So I'm assuming that this is my first node. So this is my first server. Okay, this is my node 1 and this is my node 2. So node we are calling it as a server. So this is my node 1 and this is my node 2. Okay, so we got our two node because it is a two node cluster. Now when I'm saying that I am going to install two node RAC cluster. So what is cluster? Cluster means even though they are a two node, it is a node 1 and node 2. Even though they are a two node, but they will behave like a single node only. And that is possible with the help of software. We called it as a clusterware software. So one thing that you need for this RAC installation is your clusterware software. Clusterware software. And nowadays, along with the clusterware software, we called it as a grid software also now. Now, along with the grid, you will get clusterware plus ASM. Both the things you will get it. And the combination of this clusterware plus ASM, we called it as a grid software. So basically, you need one grid software which will give me clusterware as well as ASM, both the things. Okay, so where we need to install it? Where we need to install this grid software? We need to install this grid software on each and every node. So I'm going to install my first software here. This is my grid software on node 1. I am going to install a grid software on my second node also. So let's install grid software over here. Okay, since my grid software installation is completed, now both of my node will behave like a cluster. Even though I have a different node, both the node will behave like a single node because in this grid software I have clusterware plus ASM. Everything is available. Okay, now this part is completed. Second thing what we need? Second thing we need one more software. We called it as a database software because without database, how are you going to store your data? So first software we are going to install is grid and second software we are going to install is my Oracle database software. So Oracle DB will be here and Oracle DB will be here. But are we going to install two databases here? No. We are going to install two Oracle Home, which is my Oracle Home on node 1, Oracle Home on node 2, but they are going to share a single database. They are going to share single database. So if they want to share something, obviously I need one thing. We called it as a shared storage. So this is my shared storage. This is my shared storage where all my database related files are going to be placed over here, like my parameter file, which is my SP file. Then it may contain my control file, my data files. All the files which are related to the database will be stored into the shared storage, and that will be shared by your Oracle database instance. So when you have a single database, But here you are going to create your instance, which is the part of your memory. So it will be here instance 1 and here it will be instance 2. These two instances we are going to create. But both the instance will share a single database, and those database files will be over here in the shared storage. Those instance files like your parameter file, control file, data files will be there in the shared storage. In the RAC architecture, when you start your cluster, there are again two important files are there. One we call it as a voting files. One we call voting files. And another file will be there. We called it as a OCR files. OCR files. So when you start your cluster, this OCR is very important. These OCR files are very important. Without OCR files, your cluster where will not start. Your cluster will not start. So what this OCR file will store? OCR file will have all the information about your resources, like your ASM, your listener, your all the other services. All these services details will be available in this OCR file. Like which service needs to be start on which node. Everything will be stored under the OCR files. And without that, your cluster will not start. So we are going to place these OCR files into the shared storage. And another file which is again very important, we called it as a voting disk file. What is voting files? So basically voting files will talk about, voting disk will talk about what are all the node which are the part of your cluster. Now since we have installed cluster where it is a single, it is a behave like a single node. Now it is a single node. I'm just drawing it like this. It is a single node. So there are two nodes are there. So these two nodes are the part of my cluster. That information will be stored under voting files. Let's say in future you are going to add one more node. Let's say here again you are going to add one more node. That details will be also stored under the voting files. Assuming that you are going to remove one node, that information will be also stored under the voting files. Or by any chance, if your third node is not responding, he is not giving the status that boss, I am alive. So this node will be evicted. Evicted means this node will be removed from your cluster where. From your cluster, this node will be removed. So all this information will be stored under your files. We called it as a voting files. I hope this is clear. There are many things are there which we are going to explain in the class also. If you think that you want to learn about more about RAC, Oracle DBA, you can reach out to me. If you don't want to go for the paid training, that is okay. Still you can learn a lot of concept on this YouTube channel. So please like, subscribe and share this channel and let me know how you feel, how you think that this video, whether you have any question, queries. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.